Hi, Greg. Woo. So story time. I have stories, a couple of stories. Get a little bit of that Franken content. Bitch about things. So both of my cars need work. Although I might have accidentally effectively paid for my 3D printer, my new 3D printer. So my car is a 2014 Ford Focus. And it has problems. It's the one that I hit a deer with a couple of years ago, and because it's paid for, I have opted to just drive it ugly, because it's paid for and it still works. Well, the other day, I went to pick my kid up from Taekwondo. He gets in the car, goes to close the door. Door doesn't shut, just bounces. He's like, "Dad, the door didn't close." And I'm like, my first thought is like, well, you've got something in the door, like, a strap from your gear or, something has fallen down there. And he's like, "No, there's nothing down there. Look." And he like goes to slam it and it just bounces open. And I'm like, okay. What if you close it slowly? I'm like, I don't know what that's going to do. But in my mind, I'm like, I don't know. Maybe he's pulling the handle. And so it's like not actually latching. So he pulls it and it doesn't close. So something is broken. I mess with it for a few minutes, do some, Google searching. And my best guess, I don't know this yet because I'm taking the door apart. My best guess is that there's like a little plastic pen that goes in, like, that a spring sits on. And if you made it metal, it would last forever. But it would cost like, I don't know, 25 cents. Whereas if you do a plastic one, it costs you like 2 cents. And so, of course, Ford uses the plastic ones. So the tabs eventually snap, and then the spring flies off, and the door won't close anymore. Won't stay latched because the spring tensions the like latch mechanism and locks it in place. I don't fully understand how that works. I can't picture it, but maybe if I saw it in action, it would make sense to me. But everyone online is saying like, if you can recover the spring, great, but otherwise just go to like Lowe's and get some new springs. And, you can like get the piece, or you can just use like a bigger spring and like some glue or whatever. Not glue, but like epoxy. And it'll stay on there and it'll latch your door, and it'll save you the $300 to buy the entire latch assembly, or $600 to buy the assembly and have a mechanic replace it. Ford had a recall on this like years ago, but the recall period has been ended for 4 or 5 years. Like, so, I got to pay to fix it or fix it myself. So I found online some people who had modeled the assembly. And so I'm going to 3D print the assembly, take the door apart, take the metal assembly apart, put the new plastic piece in there and new springs. I was going to do that on Saturday, but I was sick, so I didn't do it. My car right now, the door is held on by duct tape. So 2 thumbs up. It is what it is. I was going to do it Saturday. I was sick. I thought about doing it today because I felt better. Like I haven't been at work for a couple of days. But I was like, I don't want to go out. It's hot. It's humid. What's another couple of days, It'll be fine to drive around town. It's fucking the middle of nowhere in Tennessee. And so stuff like that might get you pulled over by a cop in other places for like, safety issues. Not here, baby. They don't give a shit. Car drives, great. You're good. You're legal.
Mm-hmm.
And then Katie's car picked up a bit of a vibration. It's had one for a hot minute because I didn't rotate the tires properly, so they've got some uneven wear. That's part of it. But like it's gotten really bad. I think something is wore out either on the suspension, something is broken inside of like a housing, something like I don't know. It also the tires might be unbalanced. I'm not sure. But our anniversary was also this weekend, so I did enough drugs so that we could go do something for our anniversary, and we drove her car because my car, the door is duct tape shut. and it just makes an awful, like, the steering wheel shakes and it makes an awful noise. And I'm like, why didn't you tell me it was this bad? Like, I knew it had some issues. I was like, why didn't you tell me this bad? And she's like, I don't know. I just turned up the radio. I don't think about it. It's like, I love you, sweetheart, but this is like your biggest weakness. Anything car related. And her car is always a disaster. Like, I'm definitely not the most organized person in the world, but generally speaking, I'm pretty clean. And she is too, but like her car, like my shorthand is like, okay, is your car a trash can or a landfill? Because she will pile up, not quite to those hoarder levels of trash that you see on like Reddit, but like her floorboards will be full of trash in the front and the back. It's like you open the door and it's like, well, I can't put my feet here because it's just trash. And it's like every, like, once a month, I just take a trash bag out there and just throw things in the trash. Sometimes she's like, where did something go? I was like, was it in your car? She's like, oh, did you clean? Yeah. Oh, that's probably gone. Shouldn't have left it in the car in the trash pile. But how about them? How about that political news? How's that for Franken content?
Yeah, it turns out, now the oldest presidential nominee is Trump.
Dude, nobody.
I saw that pop up, and I had to stop. It's like, wait, what? Because I didn't think it would happen, honestly.
I wasn't sure. The wind was in the air that it might happen, but still, like, you never know when push comes to shove if someone's gonna, what choice someone is gonna make.
Yeah, but also I was worried that he was going to go full Ruth Bader Ginsburg and just rot it into the ground.
I was worried about that too. There were some signs though, like, and especially when Obama was like, come on, Joe, you better pack it in. That for me was like, okay, that's the tipping point. If he already hadn't decided, Obama will push him over the edge. I don't know how closely you follow politics these days. I still follow more closely than probably I should for my mental health.
I try to distance myself a bit because, oh God, right?
Yeah. But everyone in my house, like, I was sitting there, and one of the YouTubers that I follow, did like a quick, like, 2-minute, like, it's official, Joe Biden has dropped out of the election. This announcement was dropped. There'll be a much larger video coming on Monday where we discuss potential ramifications and potential new VP picks and the GOP response. A couple other things. And like the people here in my house were like, wait, Joe Biden dropped out? And I went, oh yeah, that's right. You people are normal and don't like follow politics all the time. And then I gave them like an explanation of the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Hilarious is seeing Trump go on a rant claiming fraud because Joe Biden dropped out. So now he's wasted all his money mudslinging the wrong person.
Yes, it is hilarious.
Weird. Wait, does that mean he wants a bailout? He wants government welfare?
Does that mean that someone bamboozled you? Like you've been bamboozling people all these years? Wasting their money? Stealing their money?
Well, you did see that he got a piercing on the gay side, right?
Wait, what? Say it again?
Trump got a piercing on the gay side as well, so he's now LGBTQ.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I've seen some people being like, "Yeah, this is full Dark Brandon. He did it on purpose." I'm like, I guess, but I really think he was gonna go for it, and he thankfully, like, I think this was the right move. I'm not exactly excited for Kamala Harris. I don't love her, but it's like one thing that I've heard, and I'm going to butcher this quote, but I've heard it said before that it's like the left will absolutely ruin any chance of progression because the candidate that they pick is not perfect enough. Mm-hmm. It's like, I don't like a lot of her sort of centrist, dim kind of policies. I wish she was way more progressive. But like,
I mean, that's politics in the U.S. in general.
It is
outside of outliers like Bernie.
Yeah,
pretty much everyone is right of center on the global political scale.
Yeah, but for Kamala, like I'm willing to say I'm voting for her as opposed to say I'm voting against Trump. Like, a third party vote in America is a wasted vote, and I'm all about voting strategically.
Well, you don't
Uh,
want to vote for the guy that had part of his brain eaten by a worm,
I find that hilarious, but no, I do not want to do that.
or the one that talks like part of his brain's been eaten by a worm.
No, there are several politicians.
Well,
I
I
mean,
was rounding around back to Trump, saying,
okay,
"Well, you don't want to vote for him either."
no, definitely not. But I wasn't. Biden did do better than I expected. Credit where credit's due. My expectations were pretty low, so I don't know. Maybe that's part of it. But Biden did better, has done better than I expected him to, both in terms of like just having some good policy decisions, but also like engaging in some, by American standards, pretty progressive politics. But still, like voting for Biden would be voting against Trump. But I feel like I could vote for Kamala. Like she's got enough that I could be like, yeah, I'm going to vote for her as opposed to I'm voting against Trump.
Yeah, well, while Biden was more of a vote against Trump, because Biden has his moments of kind of sitting there,
Yeah. Biden.
His age is definitely showing. I mean,
Yeah.
he's not like Mitch McConnell doing a full blue screen, but still.
Right. Yeah, Biden seems like he would be a nice grandpa. And like that's fine, nothing wrong with that. But I don't
Although
want a nice grandpa
yeah,
in charge at the helm of the country,
mm-hmm.
Still, I'd rather have a nice grandpa over than a fucking raging lunatic, but
Yeah.
again, that's voting against the lunatic as opposed to voting for the grandpa.
Although I did see this one kind of hot take, is that it's very fitting that Biden decided to stop his campaign on National Ice Cream Day.
I did not know that. That's beautiful.
So he's just sitting there eating his ice cream, like, I made it this far. That's all I needed.
Yeah. We'll see if he goes like quote unquote the full Dark Brandon route, but
I mean, he is immune for any official acts.
that's right. That's right.
What
In
a
the
fucking shit show that's going to turn out to be.
yeah. In the next couple of years, when the memoirs get written, we'll see how much of this was planned beforehand. I really think that this, though, was just like a guy who knew his own limits and decided to listen to people around him who probably had a better read on the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I hate that that's so rare in politics in general, but I think especially American politics. I hate that that's so rare, and so people are like, no, this is planned from the start. This is political, not even 4D, it's 5D chess. It's like, no, I think he just is, like, at heart, like, a decent guy and wants to do the right thing. Although the wilder thing to me, and I can't remember if I mentioned this to you last week or not, about Trump, the assassination attempt, but it's like, to me, aside from the people who are just trolling, it's crazy to me that people so strongly have latched onto it being fake because Trump is such a liar, is so untrustworthy that people are much more willing to believe that it's a conspiracy or that it was, faked or staged or whatever, as opposed
I did see some people when it originally went down, thinking that, maybe he razored his ear and, was playing it up. But no, I don't think that now.
Yeah.
It's the immediate aftermath. Yeah, before any news really came out, this was still explosions at Trump rallies, possibly gunshots.
Yeah. In that immediate aftermath, I was like, is this real? Is this fake?
Mm-hmm.
Is this like legit, like, fake news? Like, did this not happen at all? Or was it, quote unquote, a false flag type of thing? And then as soon as it's like, no, someone died, several people are injured, it's like, okay, no, this was real.
Oh, speaking of that, have you seen the stuff that come out with that?
No,
okay,
maybe.
Well,
which stuff?
Okay, well, his widow has repeatedly refused phone calls from Biden, while Trump does not want to call her at all.
Yeah.
And then the creepiest thing at the RNC, he kissed the helmet of the dead firefighter, the firefighter that got killed at his rally. It I need to get this.
Which that is really weird. I'm making a face. Obviously, you can't see my
Yeah.
face, but I'm making a face.
I mean, first of all, they didn't even have his photo. It's just the his outfit, his coat and helmet. But it's just what the ever living fuck, right?
Yeah.
In Wall Street Journal, that's reputable enough, right?
I think so.
I mean, in this day and age, right? There you go. And also, for some reason, they put the helmet on backwards because gotta show off that number, right?
Yeah. I mean, this is weird, but I'm not surprised. Because I remember from the I think it was 2016, it might have been 2020, fuck, I don't know, election where he was like hugging all up on the American flag.
Yeah.
Like this feels like that, kind of. Like a weird display for...
It's one of those things that a normal person trying to show empathy for somebody that died because of an assassination, or well, I shouldn't say assassination attempt because that's for more high-profile people. But if somebody took a shot at me and missed, and somebody got killed as a result, I'd feel like a piece of shit. But also, when show empathy like this, this is somebody that doesn't have empathy for others, trying to fake it and coming off really, really weird.
Yeah, this is weird, creepy, performative bullshit. Because it's like to show empathy or sympathy, it's like
first of all, have the dude's photo, right?
Yeah, you call and you express your condolences, or maybe you donate to a charity, or there's I'm sure that there's some kind of like fight. Whenever firefighters are killed, there's probably some kind of like a little thing that they do. Like, ritual carries the wrong connotation, but there's little like things that people develop, or like ways that can pay respects, like for fallen military personnel, 21 gun salute, that kind of thing. Like, surely there's got to be something for firefighters, right?
For firefighters, it's usually the police, or sorry, the fire chief in near the town I grew up passed away. Oh boy, you go to his Facebook and definitely not sanitized there. But it's basically the procession to the graveyard is flanked by fire trucks and that sort of thing.
Right. But surely there's some other way that you can tokenize or memento. Like, this is just like creepy, cultish, weird cultish, performative, attention-seeking behavior.
Mm-hmm. Which, of course, we're looking at it, so of course, it's worked, right?
Sort of. I mean, we're looking at it and we're talking about it, and I suppose there's no such thing as bad publicity, but instead of being like, wow, look at how much he cared, we're like, that's fucking weird, dude. It's fucking, like, crazy guy over here.
But remember, Biden's the one that had, pudding for brains.
Better than being worm food. Poor fucking Robert Kennedy, man.
Well, I heard that Trump also got the brain worm, but it died of starvation.
So, I guess, depending on what happens, that's the first of many political conversations leading into the election night. I've seen like little snippets, and I know that the Secret Service director resigned, but I want to see, I haven't watched it, but I want to see like the hearing and things from the hearings and the investigation to like just kind of see what happened and how this is being spun.
If it was an actual just fuck up whoopsie doodle, or from the sounds of it, how the assassination attempt went down. Basically, from what my understanding is, the Secret Service held the actual rally grounds, and the state level was supposed to handle essentially the perimeter. And the state level and the Secret Service didn't really communicate what that building that twat waffle got on top of consisted of. If it was the perimeter, if it was part of the rally grounds, or what. And because Trump fucking doesn't pay his bills, he pretty much always has to do outdoor venues because to get the massive, super large crowds that he definitely pulls in, and definitely doesn't boost the perceptions of size of by having people sitting behind him and in the path of gunfire. He has to do outside venues. He won't pay for a stadium because he isn't trustworthy to pay his fucking bills. So it makes it a absolute nightmare for the Secret Service to be able to secure these areas. So if they get somebody with a gun that has a vendetta, oh boy, right?
Yeah.
Although I haven't heard anything about the motive yet.
So from what I have heard and have read, it seems like this was just a really disturbed, angry kid who
I know that he was planning both Biden and Trump, which you imagine if he pulled that off?
Well, so from what I saw, again, this was like from a couple of reports and a couple of news articles and a couple of these political YouTubers that I follow, so like a bit of a grain of salt, trust but verify kind of territory. Like from everything that I've seen presented, it's like he's a kid who had some mental health issues, who was like a loner and like bullied and maybe had some other stuff going on.
That takes a bitch to be crazy. And
he was generally on the more conservative side, but this wasn't really a politically motivated thing. It's not like he was like a never Trumper, but it's more like he just was like, he wanted to kill somebody and he wanted it to be high profile. And it was like, who's coming to my town first? And Trump was the one who happened to be there because he had looked up information about Trump and Biden and some other like senators and stuff. And it's like, who's going to be doing a thing nearby me first? And it just so happened to be Trump. That's what I've seen. Still, I don't know, man. I don't know. I wouldn't have minded if he'd have hit him. I don't know what that would have done. I don't know if it would have been a worse outcome overall in the grand scheme of things, but that whole like Schadenfreude, if there's anybody that I would love to see get assassinated, man, Trump's got to be at the top of the list.
Can you imagine the utter shitstorm that would have happened, though?
Maybe, yeah, but it's like everything has been an utter shitstorm for years. Not exclusively because of that man, but it would be cathartic, Like when Epstein died, regardless of whether you or not you believe he killed himself or was killed or whatever happened with that, like when that man died, it was like, oh yeah, cathartic. Or fucking, shit. Who's the guy that died this year that was like 100 years old and his politician? Damn it, I cannot believe that I forgot his name already. So Google. Henry Kissinger.
Ah.
When Kissinger died this year, that was a little cathartic.
Yeah, it turns out, how can I keep him out forever?
Yeah.
About you, Mitch McConnell.
Dude, I'm going to feel good when he dies, too.
Although, are we sure that he's still alive?
Zombie turtle rides again. And, this is being recorded. This will go out as Franken content at some point. Like, I don't know, man. Typically, I don't condone violence. I'm not a big violent guy. And I'm not saying that I have mixed feelings about it. That's the thing. Under quote-unquote normal circumstances, although who knows, maybe this counts as normal for this country now. Fuck, I don't know. But like under normal circumstances, I would be like, this is wild. Like, even though I don't agree with the guy politically, like that's crazy. But I've seen, Project 2025, and which Trump, supports and endorses because of course he does. Because and I've seen this man like avoid so many consequences for decades, and like especially the last 10 years or so that I've really been paying attention. But like I've seen the direct harm he's caused to not just the country in like a general sense. Like I've seen that, but I'm a human being. I care more about the things that affect me personally or my friends and family. And I've seen those policies like hurt or damage so many of my friends who are, in the LGBTQ community, or especially trans people, but the whole gamut is at risk. Many women that I know who, especially living in a southern state, losing access to bodily autonomy and bodily autonomy, contraception. It's just all, to see if his head would have exploded on live TV.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say that I wouldn't. I can't say that I wouldn't have felt good, but who knows?
Well, I miss a contributed quote to Mark Twain. Clarence Dow, I've never killed anyone, but I've read some obituary notices with great satisfaction.
Right. Yeah. So, we'll see. I don't know. Hope is too strong of a word for how I feel, but after Joe Biden stepped down,
mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to be easy. I think there's still a lot of uphill stuff to deal with because...
especially since you're fighting a fucking cult. No, they were wearing bandages on their ears in support of Trump. It's weird.
I saw. It's weird.
They wouldn't wear a fucking mask, but they'll wear an ear diaper.
Yeah. Also, to clear that one up, he wasn't actually shot at all. He was hit by shards of glass, which is not fun, but every time somebody says he was shot in the ear, I'm like, no, he wasn't. If you know anything about firearms, especially like a rifle,
he basically got hit by the shard of glass from the teleprompter.
Yeah, if he had actually been shot in the ear, he wouldn't have an ear anymore, or at best, he would have a smidgen of an ear. But yeah,
see, I never even saw he actually got hit or not. So yeah, I mean, it tracks.
Yeah, getting hit with any bullet, traveling at any decent speed, and a .223 round out of a rifle from the distances involved would still be hitting with nearly its full kinetic energy potential. The cavitation and the pressure wave from that just obliterates soft tissue. That ear would have disintegrated.
Well, let's test this out. Hey, Trump, go stand over on the far side of that football field. No, you can take your golf cart.
And anybody listening to this at the time that it comes out, if you don't know what cavitation is, one, go on YouTube and look up ballistic gel cavitation, and watch a slow-mo video or two. It's crazy to watch, very cool, science stuff. But in a nutshell, when a bullet hits an object, any kind of soft object like the human body, the pressure wave that is coming off of the bullet as it's going supersonic, although even subsonic, it's going fast enough that it can cause this. The entrance hole is very small, but then the pressure wave and the air that is expanding outwards causes this little explosion inside the body that just
especially
mangles.
Inside of a skull. Let's say, was it 62, 63 in Dallas, Texas?
Yeah. So oftentimes you'll get a very small entrance hole, and then there will be 6 inches, a foot blown out on the other side, and that's that pressure wave that is it explodes inside the cavity.
I mean, if you want to say another version of this, look up Zapruder, because that's what happened to JFK essentially.
Yeah. So there you go. That's a super quick explanation. Watch a couple YouTube videos on it. Somebody will explain that way better than I can, and you'll have cool visuals.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, are you ready to do a show?
I think so. Eventually, right?
Yep. It's after 11 o'clock, so we should probably do the thing.
Well, I have an evening shift tomorrow, so I'm good. You might not be, but I'm good.
I have to go back to work tomorrow, sick or not. I can't use any more sick time. So let's get this show on the road, shall we?